Right, okay, we're at the Crosby Marina and we've just been up to BYRNES Chippy, and I've seen so many things on YouTube, how good it is from different reviewers. I thought, well, you know, I'm gonna have to give it a go. I do know Liverpool pretty well. My wife's from Liverpool. I was born in Manchester, so you know, we managed to make it work somehow. So let's get started with this food. It's so windy, the microphone's had to go over there again, hidden away, so I'm hoping that it picks up all the sound it needs to. Okay, here's the tartar sauce, and I'm going to give this scampi a little bit of a dip. God, it's freezing. Roll on summer. It's not a massive portion. Let's say the langoustines. Not much to them really. Right, okay, so what we've got is we've got haddock, and they're swimming a little bit. Oh gosh, look at that. Oh, it's a lovely big piece of fish. As you can see, it's a nice sized piece of fish. However, the batter's still a little bit doughy. You can see how it's still doughy in there. But batter aside, which has got some nice little crunchy bits on there, it's too wet inside. I'm just going to put that to one side. Here we go again. They're cooked in oil. Just a note, if you suffer from heartburn, seek out a chippy that uses beef dripping, because there's less chance of getting heartburn with beef dripping than there is with any other oils, and it's just something to bear in mind. Right, here's a cod. Hold that up for you. Again, it's actually a little bit firmer this time. I'll just break it in half there. It's a nice piece of cod. Let's try it again. Up in the tartar sauce. It's not so bad. It's actually really quite nice. But again, very wet, very greasy. But very, very tasty. Chips are a bit mushy, a bit squashed together. But they're really nice. Now I like them kind of peaky and thick. They don't have to be as crispy for me for this, but at the same time I appreciate that people like them crispy, but they are nice. Now we got one of their meat pies in here that they highly recommend. Oh, you can see why they highly recommend them. Although, when it comes to mince, like burgers and things like that, I like to see mine well done through the middle. And that's a bit raw. Say raw. It's pink. God, it's cold. You see what I'm having to do? Right, this is one of their savouries. Again, it's like, oh, that is nice. I was expecting like loads of cheese coming out of it or something, but it's just a cheesy flavour mixed in with mashed potato, some parsley. But again, they could have done with being a bit more firm. Now I'm only down the road. I've had it in my bag. It should be no problem. For people that are, you know, are 5 miles away or 10 miles away from a delivery, they're going to struggle to get anything. Well, I don't think this would have made it. And we're going to try the mushy peas, runny nose and everything. I can't say I'm suffering, can I? But eating all this lovely food. Oh, now you know what this tastes like. For those of you that know pea-and-ham soup, this tastes like pea-and-ham soup without the ham. But it's the same taste, but no chunks of ham in it. Well, that's the kind of flavour I get. I really like that. Yeah, that's really nice. Right, I'm going to wrap this up because it's brass monkeys out here. And we're going to go back and we're going to do a review. We're going to look at some other reviews and we're going to do a review of our own, or I'm going to do a review of my own. Now, you'll know already that I don't like them to think that they're being reviewed. So I leave the bag in the truck and I park the truck out of the way. I'm not well known enough to be a problem, or for that to be a problem. I'll make the order and then when it's nearly ready I'll go back and I'll get this bag and load it up and then we're done. Now my wife says she doesn't want to be in the film. She's in the cab now and she's having one of them savouries, and she'll get stuck into whatever we got here. Now that's fine, I understand, you know, not everybody likes being in front of the camera. It's not easy, but it's also a good thing really, because if and when I do become, or this channel becomes popular, I wouldn't like people to know they're being reviewed. It's got to be quiet, it's got to be a secret. So my wife could then always go in because nobody knows what she looks like. Right, back and do the review. So as you can see by that video, I wasn't totally impressed. I would return again, no problem at all. I would probably eat the food on the spot, unless they sort of start cooking things a little bit longer. I appreciate there was maybe, I don't know, half a dozen other people in there waiting. It's not a lot of people, and it's worth waiting an extra 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. to get the food thoroughly cooked. The meat itself in the pie was a little bit pink for me. I don't like mince like that. I don't mind a steak like that. It can be using with the myoglobin or whatever. But when it comes to burgers and mince, I don't like to see the redness in them. So I felt it wasn't quite cooked to my liking, but that's just me. And so I'm leaving that out of the review because the pie was so tasty. It was delicious. I'm pretty sure they don't make that in-house. And that was the same with the Scampi. After really giving it a looking at later, I compared some of the sizes, I opened them up, and I thought, I doubt very much that was done in-house. I think it was frozen. And so be it. It's not advertised as made on site. So, but I would have liked it to have been. I don't know whether it was or it wasn't, so I'm leaving that out of the review as well, because it was still quite tasty. When it comes to the fish, well, as you can see, it wasn't so hot, was it? The meat itself was great, the batter, and the same with the cheese savoury. It was a little poor. Like I say, just that extra minute or two would have made a huge difference. And it was a beautiful spot. It was windy, it was cold, it's out of season for Crosby Marina. And it's such a beautiful place. The beach has got Gormley's Iron Men, and they're sort of slowly sinking, it seems, under the sand. It's just part of it. I think it's the closest beach on that side, on the Liverpool city side of the Mersey. And on the other side, there's another little beach on New Brighton. And then the beach would go right up the coast then. So I think that's the closest beach to Liverpool on that side. And it's a great beach. There's plenty of sand on there for the kids to play in. Nice, smooth, clean sand. Bricks at the other end. But overall, it's a great place to visit. Highly recommend it. And get yourself some of those fish and chips from BYRNES while you're at it, I'd suggest. So let's get on with the reviews. That's okay. We go on to Google. And there's 782 reviews on Google. And it's rated at 4.8 and 5 full stars there. Let's have a look at a 3-star review. This was 2 weeks ago. I had curry and cod. The curry was fruity and a nice kick. It was a good portion of fish and the batter was crispy. Why only 3 stars? Well, I'm afraid it was all very greasy. Here's a 5-star. The finest fish and chips on Merseyside. Now, Merseyside, for those that don't know, it's a lot of places, a lot of towns in Merseyside, and we'll be visiting a few of them over the time. Have been visiting this little gem for over 25 years, and the quality of the food has always been 5-star. 4th generation Chippy, 93 years, and still going strong. I'd give it 6 stars if I could. Food, 5, service 5, atmosphere 5. Now here's a 1-star review. This was a week ago. Been there today, it was awful. The service was painfully slow with a queue out the door. This queue was not caused by the number of customers, but by how slow and inefficient the staff are. Okay. It's a tiny poky little shop located at the junction of 2 grim and dimly lit back streets. Be careful where you park your car. If this is one of the best chippies in Liverpool, I would hate to see the worst. Ordered haddock and chips and a portion of plaice, only to be told we got no plaice. So I said I'll have cod instead of the plaice. The guy said okay. Some 15 minutes later, I got to where you pay, only to be told then that we have no haddock. Why did the guy tell me when taking my order that they had no haddock? They had no salmon, no haddock, no plaice, all of which is advertised on the wall. I was gobsmacked to hear this. It's like the pub with no beer, but this is the chippy with no fish. The cod we both ended up having instead of what we went for, and it was average, as were the chips. I can't recommend this place. I can't understand why it has many good reviews. You can't be used to much. Avoid this place at all costs. it's not all it's cracked up to be. They need to invest in some quality, well-spoken staff for a start. My God, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Is it any wonder the other shop closed? I don't know about that. There was 2 shops. I am aware that there is 2 shops, or there was 2 shops. I didn't know one of them closed. So that's interesting. Very poor effort. I won't be rushing back. Their opening times are ludicrous as well. Avoid for that alone. My earlier review was for the then open Muirhead Avenue shop. This review is for the Stuart Road branch. Both have similar service, poor staff, disorganised ordering and average food. It certainly is not a good chippy. They don't know what good service is. It starts with having some fish in stock. It's not rocket science to stock what you claim to sell. They are indifferent to wasting people's time by queuing up for 20 minutes only to be told then that they don't have what you ordered. Avoid for God's sake and leave it to the deluded locals who think it's a good chippy. It's far from good, unfortunately. Food 2. Service 1. Atmosphere 1. Okay, so let's have a look at mine. 4 out of 5. I give it 4 stars. Following the enthusiastic recommendations from both word of mouth and online critiques, I was keen to make my visit. The premises were immaculate and orderly. The team was welcoming and appeared happy, and I was pleased to find ample street parking, especially appreciating that it wasn't situated on a main road. Nonetheless, upon ordering, I discovered the absence of hake and place from the menu, which I was told was attributed to the season. I hoped to sample haddock, cod, hake and place for comparison, yet this omission did not dampen my spirits. My order comprised haddock, cod, a large portion of chips, a cheese savoury, scampi, a meat pie, tartar sauce and mushy peas. The peas stood out as exceptional. The tartar sauce was satisfactory, albeit slightly too acidic, and the cod and haddock fillets were enjoyable. However, their batter would have benefited from a tad longer in the fryer. Like the fish, the batter of the cheese savoury was undercooked, failing to hold its contents together when handling. Despite that, the savoury being extra tasty received an O from me. Overall, the establishment and staff were commendable, and the food was tasty. So okay, there we have it. I enjoyed the food. I would have enjoyed it better if the batter would have been cooked a little longer on everything there. Same with the chips, if they'd have been given a little bit longer. Not too much longer. And yeah, I would. If I was going back up, if I were going up to Crosby to the beach for the day or whatever, with my grandson and my wife, yeah, I'd probably call in, get some chips, maybe some fish. Yeah, I wouldn't have any problem with that. But it's a shame. It's a shame that they were just rushing it out. I appreciate it was busy in there, and there was only six people in, but people were coming and going, and it was going to be a busy time part of the day because it was lunchtime. So that's it. Look forward to the next one. Join me then.